welcome back, everybody. I'm Super Grognard, and today we're going to be looking at another Alexa game. This time, something a little more robust than Baby Groot. The 2 sound effect skill we just looked at the other day. Today we're looking at Skyrim, very special edition for Alexa from Bethesda. Now, if you're like me and you are a super grognard, these people make the games that you want to play for months and years, like Skyrim, Fallout. I think they also did, what was the other one? Or they took over the license for Castle Wolfenstein, right? Oh yeah, the Elder Scrolls. Haven't played that in a while. Elder Scrolls Online, I guess, is their big one now. But like a very well-respected and high-quality game studio out of Maryland. God, how many hours have I sunk into like Fallout 3, for God's sakes, or Fallout 4, or Skyrim, my God. I mean, you could play those games for years almost. I don't think I ever finished either one of them. It's like there's so much there, you can't finish it almost. I don't know, they seem to go on forever. But I'm curious what they've done with Skyrim for Alexa, because we've seen there are some other people making adventure games. Bethesda's the master of it, right? So don't let me down. Let's take a look. Echo, open Skyrim Very Special Edition.
Okay, here's Skyrim Very Special Edition. Skyrim Very Special Edition contains mature content that may not be suitable for all ages. Would you like to continue?
Absolutely. Love adult content. Oh, excuse me, mature content. Oh, spoke
to allow voice deactivation of the explicit filter, or to turn it off manually, go to the settings section of the Alexa app.
I'm not turning it off. Hello? Echo, open Skyrim Very Special Edition.
Okay, here's Skyrim Very Special Edition. Skyrim Very Special Edition contains mature content that may not be suitable for all ages. Would you like to continue?
Yes.
Welcome back to Skyrim, adventurer. You were standing at a crossroads deciding where to go. In one direction is a quaint farm, in the other is a bustling tavern. Where would you like to go?
Repeat. I must have played it before.
In one direction is a quaint farm, in the other is a bustling tavern. Where would you like to go?
Hit that tavern, man. We're going to the tavern.
Once at the bustling tavern, an Altmer farmer greets you. She looks quite sad. She tells you her sister was killed by a mysterious evil in an abandoned fort.
Necromancer?
Will you avenge her sister?
No. Hold on here. I don't know what I'm doing yet. No.
Will you avenge her sister?
No.
You head out on the road. After stopping to converse with some old bearded men on top of a mountain, you arrive at a crossroads. In one direction is a quaint farm, in the other is a fortified town. Where would you like to go?
Fortified town.
You meet an Argonian candlemaker at the fortified town. She's lost an item of great sentimental value, a useless bauble. She begs you to retrieve it for her. Will you lend your aid to this desperate candlemaker?
No.
You head out on the road, and after scaling a mountain instead of simply going around, you arrive at a crossroads. In one direction is a foggy
They call
dock.
me the quest
In the other
denier.
is a fortified town. Where would you like to go?
Repeat.
In one direction is a foggy dock. In the other is a fortified town. Where would you like to go?
Foggy dock.
At the foggy dock,
Do I need to make
a
a
wood
map?
elf bard greets you. He desperately needs you to retrieve a diary full of secrets from a haunted cave. Will you help the wood elf bard?
Echo, stop.
Safe travels, adventurer.
I am not getting the Skyrim feeling right here. It sounds like a bunch of NPCs that give out a quest and then you go, I guess, but like Echo, open Skyrim Very Special Edition.
Okay, here's Skyrim Very Special Edition. Welcome back to Skyrim, adventurer. You had chosen to walk towards a foggy dock. You meet a Khajiit carpenter at the foggy dock. She's lost an item of great sentimental value, a family tree tapestry. She begs you to retrieve it for her.
Okay.
You arrive at your first dungeon. As the mighty Dovahkiin, you obviously already know that you can use your weapon, cast spell, or shout to battle your enemies. And, seeing as how you're Skyrim's chosen one, you certainly will never ever need to ask to flee when facing an enemy too powerful for you. Nope, a powerful warrior like you won't ever need to flee, or even take enough damage to ask, "What is my health?" So let's continue. You follow the quest marker to your destination.
I can't remember any
of
that.
An ominous cave looms in front of you. You try to ignore the odd groaning sounds coming from inside. Will you press forward on your quest?
What is my health? Hold on, I just want to figure out all the freaking help UIs.
Your health is 100. Will you press forward on your quest?
What am I equipped with?
Will you press forward on your quest?
Inventory.
Will you press forward on your quest?
What am I carrying?
Will you press forward on your quest?
Help.
In Skyrim Very Special Edition, you control your adventures with your voice. You'll choose where to go, what quests to accept, and how to fight enemies. For additional assistance, you can ask for help at different points in the game. Will you press forward on your quest?
No?
Will you press forward on your quest?
No.
You head out on the road but forget about the precious ingots in your pockets and go back to town. You sell them and head out on the road again.
What ingots?
Soon, you arrive at a crossroads. In one direction is a small hamlet, in the other is a spooky lighthouse. Where would you like to go?
Spooky lighthouse.
Once at the spooky lighthouse, a wood elf companion greets you. She looks quite sad. She tells you her father was killed by a mysterious evil in a haunted cave. Will you avenge her father?
Yeah, sure.
You arrive at your first dungeon. As the mighty Dovahkiin, you obviously already know that you can use your weapon,
I don't
cast
know that.
spell, or shout to battle your enemies. And, seeing as how you're Skyrim's chosen one, you certainly will never ever need to ask to flee when facing an enemy too powerful for you. Nope, a powerful warrior like you won't ever need to flee.
Get the fuck on with
or
it.
even take enough damage to ask, "What is my health?" So let's continue. You follow the quest marker to your destination.
Quest
An
marker?
ominous cave looms in front of you. You try to ignore the odd groaning sounds coming from inside. Do you wish to proceed?
Yeah, whatever.
A waterfall cascades from a shaft above, filling the chamber with cool mist. You step into a pile of webs. Uh-oh. You're stuck. And a small frostbite spider starts crawling towards you. You can attack with weapon, cast spell, use shout, or flee. What would you like to do?
Repeat?
You can attack with weapon, cast spell, use shout, or flee. What would you like to do?
Use shout. No idea what it does.
Your unrelenting force throws the small frostbite spider back, staggering it. The small frostbite spider is resistant to that attack.
Wow, that's fascinating.
Your Thu'um grows mighty. Your shout skill has increased to level 2. The small frostbite spider bites you. You take 7 damage. What would you like to do?
I would like to hear a sound effect there, and I'd like to hear the spider and myself. That's what I'd like to do. Can you play a sound for me?
You can attack with weapon, cast spell, use shout, or flee. What would you like to do?
Weapon.
Your dagger stabs the small frostbite spider.
I didn't know I had a dagger.
Your skill with arms has increased to level 2. The small frostbite spider bites you. You take 7 damage. What would you like to do?
Cast spell.
Your sparks shock the small frostbite spider.
Sparks?
Jagged lines of electricity engulf the small frostbite spider. It howls in pain before vanishing into dust. You have triumphed. You have 86 health.
That's it.
Your magic skill has increased to level 2. You have learned new spells. You ignore the useless junk in the small frostbite spider's inventory and find a superior iron sword. Ooh, shiny. There are two paths before you, a pitch-black tunnel and a decaying old door. Which do you choose?
Repeat.
There are two paths before you, a pitch-black tunnel and a decaying old door. Which do you choose?
Decaying old door.
You move deeper into the cave. Cracked pottery lines the walls.
I got a sword, right?
Inside,
but I don't
you
know
find
how to
bone
figure
meal
out
and a single
what
septum. The corpse of an ancient Nord rises up before you.
To figure out what
I'm
carrying.
It's a Dragonborn warrior. You can attack with weapon, cast spell, use shout, or flee. What would you like to do?
Use shout.
Foos! Your mighty shout slams the Draugr warrior into the dirt.
I didn't hear a mighty shout.
Your shout skill has increased to level 3. You now command unrelenting force. The Draugr warrior strikes you with its ancient sword. You take 6 damage. What would you like to do?
Cast spell.
Your frostbite chills the Draugr warrior. Your magicka swells with arcane power. Your magic skill has increased to level 3.
Rad.
The Draugr warrior strikes you with its ancient sword. You take 6 damage. What would you like to do?
Cast spell again.
You can attack with weapon, cast spell, use shout, or flee. What would you like to do?
Cast spell.
Your raised zombie strikes the Draugr warrior. Your foe falls at your undead thrall's hands. You begin to see why necromancy is banned in some provinces.
Necromancers.
You are victorious. Your health is at 74. There are 2 paths before you, a torchlit path and a very smelly corridor. Which do you choose?
Loot the corpse.
There are 2 paths before you, a torchlit path and a very smelly corridor. Which do you choose?
Smelly corridor.
You move deeper into the cave. A waterfall cascades from a shaft above, filling the chamber with cool mist. Your quest is nearly finished. You check your weapon one last time as you prepare for the final battle. You hear heavy clacking noises. A giant mud crab snaps its claws menacingly. You can attack with weapon, cast spell, use shout, or flee. What would you like to do?
Use shout.
Foos row. Your mighty Thu'um crashes into your foe. The giant mud crab is resistant to that attack. The giant mud crab snaps its huge pincers.
Like I'm gonna remember anything.
What would you like to do?
Cast spell.
Your flames sear the giant mud crab. The giant mud crab snaps its huge pincers. You take 10 damage. What would you like to do?
Cast spell.
Your sparks zap the giant mud crab. Your magicka swells with arcane power. Your magic skill has increased to level 4. The giant mud crab snaps its huge pincers. You take 10 damage. What would you like to do?
Cast spell? Is it doing no damage?
Your frostbite chills the giant mud crab. You stare at the frozen statue before you, greatly impressed with yourself. You survived the battle. Your health is at 44. You have successfully cleared the cave of its dangers, making Skyrim a safer place for all. You hop down a ledge and find yourself at the cave's entrance. Neat.
Yeah, neat.
The companion thanks you for bringing justice to such evil. She hands you a notched pickaxe. You'll need to hone your craft at mining to make good use of this.
Pickaxe now.
You head out on the road. As you wander aimlessly, you start to wonder why so many people keep journals. It usually gets them into trouble. Eventually, you arrive at a crossroads. In one direction is a fishing camp. In the other is a quaint farm. Where would you like to go?
Farm.
You meet an orc beekeeper at the quaint farm.
Orc?
He's lost an item of great sentimental value, a collection of orcish poetry. He begs you to retrieve it for him. Will you lend your aid to this desperate beekeeper?
Yeah, sure.
You follow the quest marker to your destination. As you enter the cave, you hear quick footsteps.
Quest marker?
There's no one around. It must have been the wind, right? Are you ready to face the peril ahead?
Yeah.
Lit torches hang from the walls. Who's maintaining these, you wonder? An adoring fan has been stalking you for weeks. He's harmless but so annoying. He really needs to die. You can attack with weapon, cast spell, use shout, or flee. What would you like to do?
Use weapon.
Your sword strikes the adoring fan.
Fanboy? Did I just kill
Your
Fanboy?
skill with arms has increased to level 3. The adoring fan goes in for a hug, but you dodge aside. What would you like to do?
Is this a joke skill?
You can attack with weapon, cast spell, use shout, or flee. What would you like to do?
Use shout?
Foosro. Your unrelenting force tosses the adoring fan into the air. He crashes to the ground. The adoring fan never gets back up. That's what you get for messing with the Dovahkiin.
Yeah.
You are victorious. Your health is at 100. You loot the adoring fan's remains, find a flawless iron battle
How do I get my health back?
and cast aside your old weapon. There are 2 paths before you,
Got a battle axe
Falmer
now?
ladder and an abandoned mineshaft. Which do you choose?
What weapon am I carrying?
There are 2 paths before you, a Falmer ladder and an abandoned mineshaft. Which do you choose?
What is my weapon?
There are 2 paths before you, a Falmer ladder and an abandoned mineshaft. Which do you choose?
Abandoned mineshaft.
You move deeper into the cave. A waterfall cascades from a shaft above, filling the chamber with cool mist. A deranged Khajiit looks at you with wild eyes, like a kitten staring at a ball of yarn. Which makes sense, you suppose. You can attack with weapon, cast spell, use shout, or flee. What would you like to do?
Cast spell.
Your raised zombie slaps the deranged Khajiit. The deranged Khajiit claws at you, but misses.
Zombie?
What would you like to do?
Use spell?
Your flames burn the deranged Khajiit. The deranged Khajiit claws at you,
Just
but
seems
misses.
like I have just random
what would
spells.
you like to do?
Cast spell?
Your frostbite chills the deranged Khajiit,
Okay, so I did
transforming
fire,
him into a pillar of
frostbite,
ice.
raised
You
zombie.
have triumphed. You have 100 health. Your magic skill has increased to level 5. You have learned new spells. There are 3 paths forward, a creaking wooden door,
What spells
a rope
did I
ladder,
learn?
and a faintly glowing tunnel. Which do you choose?
What spells do I know?
There are 3 paths forward,
Come
a creaking
on.
wooden door, a rope ladder, and a faintly glowing tunnel. Which do you choose?
Repeat.
There are 3 paths forward, a creaking wooden door, a rope ladder, and a faintly glowing tunnel. Which do you choose?
Faintly glowing tunnel.
You move deeper into the cave. Cobwebs crisscross the walls. The webs are a little too thick for comfort. A pile of bones on the ground suddenly leaps up, its hands charged with magicka. It's a skeleton warlock. You can attack with weapon, cast spell, use shout, or flee. What would you like to do?
Cast spell. I'm just going to cast nothing but spells. Why not?
Your raised zombie slaps the skeleton warlock.
Okay, raise the
The
zombie
skeleton
spell.
warlock blasts you with ice. You take 10 damage. What would you like to do?
Cast spell.
Your flames sear the skeleton warlock. Your foe is nothing more than a smoldering
I guess
heap.
I can't run out of magic.
You are victorious. Your health is at 90.
Fuck the sword.
There are 3 paths forward, a foggy
Excuse me,
deadwood
battle
path,
axe.
a cracked oak door, and a rotating stone door. Which do you choose?
Rotating stone door, because I can't remember what you said in the first 2 choices.
There are 3 paths forward, a foggy deadwood path, a cracked oak door, and a rotating stone door. Which do you choose?
Rotating stone door.
You move deeper into the cave. You splash through a shallow river and the cold water sends a chill from your feet to your spine. You hear clicking. A large mud crab scuttles out from a puddle. You can attack with weapon,
Dinner
cast
right
spell,
there.
use shout, or flee. What would you like to do?
Cast spell.
Your conjured familiar leaps at the large mud crab. The large mud crab snaps its pincers. You take 6 damage. What would you like to do?
Cast spell.
Your raised zombie slaps the large mud crab. Your foe breathes its last. Necromancy is always so rewarding. You survived the battle.
Can say
Your
that
health
again.
is at 84. Your magicka swells with arcane power. Your magic skill has increased to level 6. There are 2 ways forward, a rope walkway to a corridor and a wooden ladder. Which do you choose?
Wooden ladder.
You move deeper into the cave. You squint in the darkness and movement catches your eye. Looks like a fight. The sounds emanating from up ahead leave you unsettled. Something large and powerful is moving. A brutish Dremora churl awaits you. He laughs maniacally. You can attack with weapon, cast spell, use shout, or flee. What would you like to do?
Cast spell. This is my magic
Your
wand.
sparks zap the Dremora churl. The Dremora churl is resistant to that attack. The Dremora churl blasts a stream of fire towards you. You take 9 damage. What would you like to do?
Cast spell.
Your sparks shock the Dremora churl. Your attack was not very effective. The Dremora churl blasts a stream of fire towards you. You take 9 damage. What would you like to do?
Cast spell.
Your frostbite chills the Dremora churl. Your foe has some resistance to that attack. The Dremora churl blasts a stream of fire towards you. You take 9 damage. What would you like to do?
Cast spell.
Your conjured familiar gnashes at the Dremora churl. Your attack was not very effective. The Dremora churl blasts a stream of fire towards you. You take 9 damage. What would you like to do?
Cast spell.
Your frostbite chills the Dremora churl. Your attack was not very effective. The Dremora churl blasts a stream of fire towards you. You take 9 damage. What would you like to do?
Use weapon.
Your battle axe hacks the Dremora churl. The Dremora churl blasts a stream of fire towards you. You take 9 damage. What would you like to do?
Use shout.
Foosro. Your mighty Thu'um crashes into your foe. The Dremora churl struggles to get up, briefly, then expires. Good riddance. You have triumphed. You have 30 health. Your Thu'um grows mighty. Your shout skill has increased to level 4. You pick up the collection of orcish poetry, determined to return it to its rightful owner. You hop down a ledge and find yourself at the cave's entrance. Neat.
Neat?
The orc beekeeper thanks you for retrieving his collection of orcish poetry. How could he live with it?
I don't know if I can do this much longer.
He gives you a cheese wheel. It's amazing how long these stay fresh. You head out on the road.
Cheese wheel, does that mean I
After
can
chasing
regain
butterflies
health?
for an embarrassing amount of time, you arrive at a crossroads. In one direction is a fortified town, in the other is an abandoned tower. Where would you like to go?
Fortified town. You know, I need a tavern, I need a drink, really bad. Tavern. I want to go to the tavern and the brothel.
In one direction is a fortified town, in the other is an abandoned tower. Where would you like to go?
Fortified town.
At the fortified town, a Nord armorer greets you. He desperately needs you to retrieve a replica of the soup spoon of Eastgramore from a misty mountain.
Is this all there is?
Will you help the Nord armorer?
Yes. It's kind of realistic, actually.
Will you help the Nord armorer?
Yes.
You follow the quest marker to your destination. Red and blue flowers adorn the rocky base. You would pick one, but you already have 99. Will you venture in?
Yeah. Let's go.
Snow-covered fir trees line the mountainside. An apprentice mage appears in front of you. He begins casting a conjuration spell,
How do I know he's an apprentice?
but does not seem very confident.
Does he have like a card?
You can attack with weapon, cast spell, use shout, or flee. What would you like to do?
Cast spell. I'm just going to cast spells all day long.
You can attack with weapon, cast spell, use shout, or flee. What would you like to do?
Cast spell. Yeah.
Your conjured familiar bites the apprentice conjurer. The apprentice conjurer is resistant to that attack.
Right.
Your magicka swells with arcane power.
Oh, I guess I can learn all the
skill has increased to level
different
7.
monsters that
The
are
apprentice conjurer
affected or
summons a
not
flame
by the
atronach,
different...
which scorches you with flames.
I'm not going to keep a
You take 8
spreadsheet.
damage. What would you like to do?
Cast spell.
Your flames burn the apprentice conjurer. Your attack was not very effective.
I burned
The
him.
apprentice conjurer summons a flame atronach, which scorches you with flames. You take 8 damage. What would you like to do?
One more try. Cast spell.
Your spark zap the apprentice conjurer. Your foe has some resistance to that attack. The apprentice conjurer grows frustrated as his atronach fails to damage you.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
Shout.
Fusro. Unrelenting force smashes into your foe. The apprentice conjurer croaks one last breath. Defeated. You are victorious.
Sounds
Your
like
health
magic
is at
to me.
84. There are 2 ways forward, a shaded ridge and a steep scramble. Which do you choose?
Shaded ridge.
You venture further up the mountain. You arrived at Crumbling Tower, nearly collapsing under its own ancient weight. A wild-eyed Forsworn blocks your path. He looks tough and totally psychotic. You can attack with weapon, cast spell, use shout, or flee. What would you like to do?
Shout.
Fusro. Your mighty Thu'um crashes into your foe. Your foe has some resistance to that attack. The Forsworn wildly swings his dual swords. You take 7 damage. What would you like to do?
Cast spell.
Your frostbite stings the Forsworn. He will never move again. You survived the battle. Your health is at 77. There are 2 ways forward, a dangerous detour trail and an ancient Nord bridge.
It doesn't seem very hard. Like,
Which
I don't
you
have to
choose?
ever run. Repeat? Like, can I not
There are
lose a
2
battle?
ways forward, a dangerous detour trail and an ancient Nord bridge. Which do you choose?
Dangerous detour. I'm a risk taker.
You venture further up the mountain. Sniff, sniff. Is that frost troll you smell? No, something else. A young mage appears in front of you. He smells of death. It's a necromancer. You can attack with weapon, cast spell, use shout, or flee. What would you like to do?
Repeat. What are the odds the necromancer is magic resistant, do you think? Let's find out.
You can attack with weapon, cast spell, use shout, or flee. What would you like to do?
Cast spell.
Your raised zombie hits the apprentice necromancer. Your foe has some resistance to that attack. The apprentice necromancer commands his reanimated skeever to attack you. You take 8 damage. What would you like to do?
Cast spell.
Your frostbite chills the apprentice necromancer. The apprentice necromancer is resistant to that attack.
Yep, okay.
The apprentice necromancer commands his reanimated skeever to attack you. You take 8 damage. What would you like to do?
Use shout. God, it's boring.
Fusro. Your mighty shout slams the apprentice necromancer into the dirt. The apprentice necromancer struggles to get up, briefly, then expires. Good riddance. You survived the battle. Your health is at 61. There are 2 paths before you, a surprisingly lush plateau and a snowdrift footpath. Which do you choose?
Eat cheese wheel.
There are 2 paths before you, a surprisingly lush plateau and a snowdrift footpath. Which do you choose?
Snowdrift footpath.
You venture further up the mountain. Cut into the mountainside is an ancient shrine. The offerings, however, are fresh. Dovahkiin, Dovahkiin, Nalok Zine Los Vereen, Wadine, Vokul, Mafe Rock Ostval. Sorry about that, I was just trying to set the scene before your boss battle. A vicious saber cat has been stalking you. It leaps out to attack. You can attack with weapon, cast spell, use shout, or flee. What would you like to do?
Cast spell.
Your spark zap the saber cat. Your magicka swells with arcane power.
I kill it?
Your magic skill has increased to level 8. The saber cat leaps at you. You take 11 damage. What would you like to do?
Cast spell.
Your flames burn the saber cat, reducing it to ash. You survived the battle. Your health is at 50. You have successfully retrieved the replica of the soup spoon of Ysgramor. This should fetch a nice reward. You made it all the way around the mountain back to where you began. Funny how walking in a circle will do that. The armorer looks at the replica of the soup spoon of Ysgramor, relieved. He thanks you and rewards you with a scroll of lockpicking. Wow, it's been years since you've seen one of these.
Write it down.
You head out on the road. After stopping to create a useless potion from jazzbay grapes and a chicken egg, you arrive at a crossroads. In one direction is a quaint farm.
When do I use
In the other is a Daedric shrine. Where would you like to go?
Repeat. Okay, I'm going to do one more of these because I'm really getting sick of it.
In one direction is a quaint farm. In the other is a Daedric shrine.
Did we go to the farm?
Where would you like to go?
Quaint farm?
Once at the quaint farm, a Breton baker greets you. He tells you of the terrible evil lurking in a nearby mountain pass that has been terrorizing the quaint farm. Will you lend your spell and steel to his cause?
Repeat?
Will you lend your spell and steel to his cause?
Yes. So he wants the scroll.
You follow the quest marker to your destination. The stars are clearly visible above.
I don't need a quest marker.
You can almost remember all 13 constellations.
Oh, God.
Are you ready to face the peril ahead?
Yeah, sure.
You pass an old Nordic shrine to Talos. The Thalmor wouldn't be happy to see this. Then again, the Thalmor aren't here, are they? An unnatural coldness creeps over you. An apprentice ice mage stands before you. He seems unsure of his skills. You can attack with weapon, cast spell, use shout, or flee. What would you like to do?
Use shout.
Fusro. Unrelenting force smashes into your foe. Your Thu'um grows mighty. Your shout skill has increased to level 5.
Did I kill him?
The apprentice ice mage releases streams of frost from his hands. You take 10 damage. What would you like to do?
Cast spell.
Your spark zap the apprentice ice mage, causing him to convulse and fall to the floor. You have triumphed. You have 90 health. There are 3 paths forward, a natural stone bridge, a slippery rock scramble, and a loose rock scramble. Which do you choose?
Slippery rock scramble?
You venture further up the mountain. The steep trail flattens as it wraps around the mountain. An adoring fan has been stalking you for weeks. He's harmless but so annoying. He really needs to
Kill
die.
him.
You can attack with weapon, cast spell, use shout, or flee. What would you like to do?
Shout?
Fusro. Your unrelenting force throws the adoring fan back, staggering him. The adoring fan tries to give you a hug. You take 5 damage. What would you like to do?
Cast spell.
Your frostbite stings the adoring fan. He is encased in hoarfrost, as frozen as the throat of the world. You survived the battle. Your health is at 85.
I need like a...
There are 2 paths before you, a large boulder scramble and a wide ridge. Which do you choose?
Wide ridge.
You venture further up the mountain. You find yourself on a narrow, twisting path. You ready your Thu'um for the final battle. A brutish Dremora churl awaits you. He laughs maniacally. You can attack with weapon, cast spell, use shout, or flee. What would you like to do?
Cast spell.
I
don't remember if this was guy I ran into before.
The Dremora churl is resistant to that attack.
Okay, great.
The Dremora churl blasts a stream of fire towards you.
Resistant to all spells.
You take 9 damage.
Whatever.
What would you like to do?
Can't remember. Shout.
You can attack with weapon, cast spell, use shout, or flee. What would you like to do?
Shout.
Fusro. Your unrelenting force throws the Dremora churl back, staggering it. The Dremora churl blasts a stream of fire towards you. You take 9 damage. What would you like to do?
Use weapon.
Your battle axe rends the Dremora churl. The Dremora churl attacks, but misses. What would you like to do?
Use weapon.
Your battle axe chops the Dremora churl.
Chops? Kills?
Your skill
Chops?
with arms has increased to level 4. The Dremora churl blasts a stream of fire towards you. You take 9 damage. What would you like to do?
Use weapon. Use weapon.
Your battle axe chops the Dremora churl. The Dremora churl blasts a stream of fire towards you. You take 9 damage. What would you like to do?
Shout. Shout at the devil.
Fusro. Your unrelenting force throws the Dremora churl back, staggering it. The Dremora churl croaks one last breath, defeated. You are victorious. Your health is at 49. You ignore the useless junk in the Dremora churl's inventory and find an epic Iron War axe. Ooh, shiny.
Is that what I got?
You have successfully cleared the
Iron
mountain pass of evil. This should earn you a generous
War
reward.
axe.
You made it all the way around the mountain back to where you began.
Uh-huh.
Funny how walking in a circle will do that. The Breton breathes a sigh of relief and thanks you for putting down every last one of those vile villains. They really had it coming. He tosses you a large leather sack. Embroidered on the bag are the words, "I am sworn to carry your burdens." After heading out on the road, you become overwhelmed with quest markers and turn them all off to enjoy the beautiful landscape. You soon arrive at a crossroads. In one direction is a fortified town, in the other is a Daedric shrine. Where would you like to go?
Town. Just gonna check it out one
Once
more
at the
time.
fortified town, a
I want a
Breton
tavern,
companion greets
shop.
you. She tells you of the terrible
No,
evil lurking in
no,
a
I
nearby
can't do
ruined
this. I
fort
can't
that
do
has
this
been
anymore.
terrorizing
It's
the
terrible.
fortified town. Will you lend your spell and steel to her cause?
Help?
Skyrim's people are in desperate need of your aid during these troubled times. You can either accept their
I'm the one who's
quest,
troubled.
or walk away awkwardly as they speak. The choice is yours. I hope you'll do the right thing. Will you lend your spell and steel to her cause?
No. No.
You head out on the road. After breaking into several citizens' homes and stealing their valueless possessions,
I didn't say to do
you'll
that.
run out of the town. Soon, you arrive at a crossroads. In one
I didn't
direction
say I
is
was
a
a
spooky
rogue.
lighthouse.
Did I?
In the other is an isolated shack. Where would you like to go?
Stop. That's where I'd like to go.
In one direction is a spooky lighthouse. In the other is an isolated shack. Where would you like to go?
Stop.
Safe travels, adventurer.
Good God. That's a pretty big disappointment. Bethesda, AAA game maker. Even if you didn't like their mobile version of Fallout Shelter Mobile, whatever the hell it was, well done game, engaging, properly adapted to the platform with notifications and return mechanics, and one tap, one finger play. Say what you want, but it was a AAA mobile game. I don't think they properly PM'd it at the beginning, but I think they recovered and added more content later. I can't remember. I think it did very well at first, but that's besides the point. I really was hoping for a Skyrim Bethesda experience here, and this is not it. This is barely better than some of the other ones we played. I mean, not as tedious to play as Dungeon Adventure, but almost. Not fast like Dungeon Frenzy. The more I play Dungeon Frenzy, the more I realize that game's actually pretty visceral for an Alexa game. But all right, we're going to go through the bad and the good here. So again, on a lot of these fantasy RPG IF games, like no sound effects. Very few sound effects. Like, it's not hard to do, people. The weapon attack sounds, the monster sounds, armor clink sounds. How about level up sounds besides that 2-beat drum thing? When I win a fight, there's like no celebration. It's like, hey, you want to fight? Let's move on. Great. Like, I want some emotionality in here, man. That's a major achievement. On the other hand, was it really a major achievement? I can't seem to be killed by anything in this game. I just have to bark magic over and over and over. I don't even know if that does damage to the resistant guys. and then I shout at them and I bop them with my axe, and they're dead. Like, that's not. There's no stress to playing this. It's just murder, murder simulator with like 3 choices, right? I don't even get to pick which magic spell I use. That might be nice. If one magic spell doesn't work, they all don't work. Really? Like electricity, fire, and ice, same resistance across the board? Come on. Then this whole quest marker thing, like, I know in like the PC and console versions where it's so easy to get lost in an open world, to have a quest marker on your map somewhere telling you where to go is like a convenience for the player, but I am not needing a quest marker here. Again, it's like not adapted for the platform. Like, I guess quest markers are a thing in Skyrim, but it's not a thing I would celebrate. It's like a solution to a problem, which is that you get lost and can't find where you're supposed to go on your quest. It's like a UI thing or a player affordance thing, or I don't know what else to call it. But here, like, do I need a quest marker? Why do you keep talking about them? It's stupid. God, man. And then, like, they tell me about my armor and my weapons and all this stuff I've been given, but I can never get a readout to tell me what I'm carrying. All I can do is ask what my health is, get help, but I can't even say, what weapon am I carrying? Why won't they tell me? Why didn't they do that? I don't understand. It's like, you want to know. I guess you don't need to know, but like, you want to know if you got it. Like, let them know. Also, like, what's the drawback to using magic continually? Some guys are like resistant to it and some aren't. I'm never running out of like mana or magic or spell points or anything. I'm just like, it's gonna steamroll people, There's no risk in any of these attacks so far. And maybe this is early in the game, they want you to level up, a bit and feel good, but like, no danger? No risk of death? I don't, it doesn't have that kind of RPG juice that you want, where you're like, I don't know, I might die in this one, I gotta play it right. It doesn't matter how I play it here almost. Just keep going. Really, I don't think Bethesda made this. It's gotta have been made by an agency that just threw like some of their IP words in on their, off-the-shelf dungeon adventure game or something. God, is there, and then what was she saying every time I yelled? Like, Husro? Is that the name of the spell? Why can't I hear myself yelling a kick-ass yell for this yell effect? And then, all right, so what is there anything to like here at all? I don't know. I feel like I've been hoodwinked or tricked into playing this thing because of all the goodwill I have towards Skyrim and Bethesda. That goodwill has been seriously damaged here. I'm going to have to think twice about anything that's branded Skyrim or Bethesda now. I mean, if you're going to stoop to this level of quality and lack of play on a new platform, like, it's either a joke to them, and they're just not going to put any work into it or any fun into it, or this wasn't them and it's just been branded them. I don't think any designer at Bethesda would have made this like this bad. On the good point, though, again, for very young children that maybe can barely speak or in like up to grade 3 or 4 and are tolerant of a lot of repetition in their entertainment, their minds aren't like ours, remember. They're just learning things, and they don't mind doing the same thing over and over and over again. It's still fun for them. This might be a good little game for kids again. It's branded mature content, so that's going to scare a lot of parents off from opening it up. And I believe if you have a child-dedicated Alexa device, Echo, they're not going to be able to invoke it because it's marked mature. So, and I don't see what the mature content was. I didn't know alcohol, no tobacco, no sex. Cartoonish violence doesn't give you a mature rating. What was so mature here? I didn't hear any cussing. I thought they said there was a cuss filter you're supposed to be able to turn off or something. Not hearing it. Just no level ups. I like my skills went up at something, but like, on my wish list, I would say is like, I need a break from this. Just get a quest, go do the quest, and come back. There's got to be another layer of gameplay on there, either through, the annoyance, but sort of break of, let's call it housekeeping mechanics with your inventory, swapping things in and out, buying stuff, selling stuff. I like to call it housekeeping as a form of gameplay. It's just management of your shit. And then, I don't know, maybe a progression choice. Can I earn some sort of points that I then apply to either magic or combat or something? Or can I unlock a road or an area of the world? Can I expand my view to a larger and larger game by accomplishing something? Maybe some interstitial story moments? Maybe a tavern keeper who can tell me jokes or give me tips or something, or maybe I can get a sidekick. Or maybe I have to go to the tavern to get a ticket to go to the long-term, a further away city. I'm tired of this area. Maybe I want to go somewhere else. But there's just nothing there. Just quest after quest after quest, and they're all pretty much the same, with some, frankly, lame attempts at humor. I think you either got to go in really hard on the dorkiness if you're going to make it a comedy RPG, or if it's Skyrim, make it Skyrim. Like, this didn't feel... The humor wasn't even Skyrim to me. Like, it just does not feel like a Bethesda product. I don't know. If you want to give it a try yourself, just say to your Alexa speaker, open Skyrim Very Special Edition. All right, next on the radar here. Wow, man, so disappointing. I think I'm going to take a look at... I heard there's a new version of Song Quiz out, but it was having some issues or something, but it's got apparently a whole new art style. I don't know if you saw their like weird clip art stuff they were doing, but like apparently they got some like kick-ass visuals now. And I'm going to see if that's open and ready. If it's not, I'm going to go look at, what was it? Trivia game called Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Seemed to have a lot of reviews, and there's also a history quiz. I'll see which one's better first, then I'll do the best one. But yeah, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? I was pretty impressed with Jeopardy the other day compared to this one. Spot on the IP, high quality, wanted to play more but couldn't. Crafty subscription methods, and tied into the real show. This tie-in to Skyrim, not feeling it. Not feeling it at all. All right, that's it for today. Come back tomorrow for more Alexa Gaming with Super Grognard.